Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, Boruto is finally back. The hiatus is wrapping up and we should be getting a brand new chapter in a couple of days. Specifically, it should be coming out on August the 20th, but spoilers, you know how it goes. They're probably going to be released in a couple of days. Usually it comes out around the 16th or the 17th, around that time, so hopefully we do get some early stuff. But regardless, we already got some early stuff and it didn't necessarily start just now. I'm pretty sure you guys all know. We started off by getting Sarada's design a couple of weeks ago, and we recently got Boruto's design, which looks absolutely insane. Now, this right here, if I'd give it a rating, I'd have to give it a 10 out of 10. You know, one of the things that I've always loved about Teen Boruto was his design, and even though it changes almost like every single time that we do see Teen Boruto, he's dripped out in every single design. I don't know how they do it. This image, however, it's a little bit different. First things first, Boruto has Sasuke's glove. The first design that we did see Boruto in, he didn't necessarily have that glove on. Now, I did see one tweet or one X that did say Sasuke gave Boruto that glove because he doesn't have an arm, which is kind of funny, but we do have to figure out what's going on with Sasuke. Now, if you guys aren't fully familiar with the storyline, a lot of people believe that, hey, Sasuke is probably going to die, and that's where Boruto gets his clothes from. In my personal opinion, I've always said that I highly doubt that Sasuke is going to die. Even still, like, post Timeskip, I don't think that Sasuke's gonna die, but regardless, I just think that Boruto loves Sasuke's drip, and this right here might also be another thing as well. But this right here is gonna be one of the storylines going into part 2 of Boruto, and in my personal opinion, I think that stuff like this, I mean, it's probably gonna captivate a lot of the fans at the start of the time skip. Remind you guys, there is a bunch of storylines. First things first, we got the Sasuke storyline, we got the Code storyline with his clog rhymes. I don't know what in the world he's thinking about as of right now, what exactly he wants to do. Not only that, we also have the Damon and Ada storyline. Specifically, how are they faring in the Hidden Leaf Village? Are they going to be in the Hidden Leaf Village? Are they going to be beside Kawaki's side? Specifically, what is Kawaki's plans? Is he still going to go after all the Otsutsuki clan members? I'm pretty sure he is, but also, is he still currently actively hunting Boruto? How much Otsutsuki members did Kawaki kill already? So there's just a bunch of stuff in that glove, in my personal opinion. Even though it's very slight, it kind of got me thinking about all the storylines that we should be expecting right off of the bat in chapter 81, which is going to be absolutely insane. But regardless, no one can really pinpoint exactly how long the time skip is going to be. We got Boruto, Kawaki, and Sarada's design, and we still can't fully nail down a time frame of exactly how long the time skip is probably going to be. Judging by Naruto, that time skip right there is about 2.5 years. I don't necessarily think that Boruto is going to try to diverge too much from that, so I'm going to guess 2 or 3 years. And judging by the ages, I mean, Boruto in this doesn't look like he's like 18 or 19. He pretty much looks like he's around what Naruto was in part 2 of Naruto, in Naruto Shippuden. The time skip could definitely be the same, but we also have to figure out exactly how that right there is going to impact the storyline. Cole was already dead set on exacting his revenge. Kawaki himself is already starting off on this brand new mission of exterminating all Otsutsuki members. So I definitely do want to see exactly how long the time skip is and how exactly everybody else is going to be affected by the time. Now, not only that, we also did get Sarada's design. Now, Sarada's design was, let's say, controversial. I don't necessarily think it was a bad design in my personal opinion. First things first, I definitely do want to talk about Sarada's hair. I think Sarada getting a shorter haircut reminds me a lot of another character from a different series. If you guys are familiar with Attack on Titan, is going to be Mikasa, and it kind of gives me the idea that Sarada is going to be a lot more confrontational. Usually when females cut their hair, they are usually going to be in a lot of combat, so hopefully this does mean that Sarada is going to get a lot of combat. But in regards to how it looks, I mean, I think it looks fine. In regards to what I would have preferred, I'd have probably preferred, matter of fact, I haven't even really thought about what I'd probably prefer. I wouldn't really mind longer hair. The only thing with longer hair is the practicality, but that hasn't necessarily been like an actual problem for Naruto in the past. Like, let's be honest, like Naruto and all the other Naruto characters, they're walking around in sandals. Not only that, like the kunoichis, they're essentially going crazy in heels. So like, I don't necessarily think that practicality was necessarily a big thing for them, but however, the short hair could definitely have a story behind it. For example, back in part 1 of Naruto, Sakura essentially started the series with long hair, and then in the battle versus Ino, her hair ended up being cut. Now, this could be a similar situation with Sarada, and I definitely will not be surprised if we do get a flashback basically explaining exactly why Sarada did actually cut her hair. But also on top of that, there's also the possibility that her hair grows back gradually throughout the entire series, and that right there could possibly be a marker upon the timeline of part 2. So there could be upsides, there could be downsides. Regardless of the intricate details and what's behind it, I think it looks good on Sarada. With Sarada's design, some people are actually talking about the symbolism on her accessories, and if this right here is actually legit, I think that this right here is definitely a good touch. First things first, on the choker being there is another conversation for another day, but regardless, On the choker, there's like a Harner design. I think that right there is definitely an important thing for Sarada, man, because it's very easy for Sarada to just simply only lean into the Uchiha side of her family and not necessarily give any light to the Haruno side of her family. But it's kind of cool that she's actually keeping it there, and hopefully, I know a lot of you guys probably won't necessarily care about this. I personally wouldn't necessarily mind her diving a little bit more deeper into her Haruno heritage. We barely got any of that in part 1 and part 2 of Naruto, when Sakura was literally one of the main characters. But regardless, the Uchiha earrings, those go hard as well. And one of the things that I'm really hoping with Sarada, and this right here kind of goes into this color scheme of this particular image right here. A lot of people were saying that it matches Itachi's color scheme. One of the things that I really did want Sarada to actually do, grow up and actually have a lot of her tactics be very similar to Itachi, especially in regards to Genjutsu. Now, because she does have her Mangekyo Sharingan now, I don't necessarily want to put too much pressure and say, hey, she's going to be walking around putting a bunch of people inside Tsukiyomi, but I definitely do hope that the Mangekyo Sharingan not only gives Sarada all the hacks ability that the Mangekyo Sharingan usually gives whoever's hosting it, but also she dives a lot deeper into the actual advantages of her Sharingans, and not only the Mangekyo Sharingans, and one of those advantages just happens to be extremely strong Genjutsu. So that right there, in my personal opinion, would definitely be a very good thing. Now, another thing specifically with those accessories, one of the things that was like a big thing in chapter 1 was Kawaki saying that the age of shinobi is over. Now, I'm not saying that that situation has to specifically be as of right now, but Sarada wearing those accessories kind of goes back at that actual statement. Now, again, you never know, maybe later on in the series Sarada is going to want to take those things off, but it's very interesting to see exactly how the series progresses, especially with ninjas and people of the clans, because that right there is essentially a ninja based thing. Now, one of the other interesting things specifically about that scene is that Boruto didn't really give any pushback. He didn't really say, hey, nah, ninjas were still running stuff. No, he basically spoke for himself. He said, nah, he's still a ninja. He didn't really say, hey, me and Sarada are still ninjas. So I definitely do want to see exactly how this goes over. But Sarada's design, in my personal opinion, if I actually give it a number, because I did give Boruto's a number, I'd probably give this a solid 8. I personally thought it was a decent design. Another interesting thing that I have been thinking about is specifically what the next designs are going to be. Now, we have pretty much all the members of Team 7's designs except Mitsuki. Shout out to the people who think that Konohana is still a part of Team 7. We don't have his design either, but we don't have Mitsuki's. That's like the only one. So if there was a design to be released within the next couple of days before the spoilers actually do drop, it could definitely be Mitsuki. Now, there's a reason why we possibly haven't gotten Mitsuki's design as of yet, and we probably won't really get Mitsuki's design until we actually do see him in the manga. We kind of already know how Mitsuki's gonna look when he grows older. Like, his clone, or one of his clones, or I don't even know, his brother Log, looks exactly like Mitsuki, and it's just like an older version of Mitsuki with a scar. So I'm assuming when we do see the design of Mitsuki, he's probably gonna look identical to Log, possibly a different facial structure, possibly a little bit more childish because he will still be younger than Log, but it's probably going to be very similar. The next person that we could possibly see, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do actually see her, would probably be Himawari. Now, Himawari, in my personal opinion, is probably going to take on a much bigger role in Boruto TBV, just because of the simple fact that we did see Damon talk about her hidden powers and hidden potential. Now, I do have to point this out, man, because I do have to stay consistent. I don't fully trust how Masashi Kishimoto writes female characters, and this right here goes back to Sakura, kind of picked up with Sarada a bit, because we haven't really seen her much, especially after Kodachi dropped the series and Masashi Kishimoto picked it back up. And not only that, now it continues on to Himawari. Himawari, in my personal opinion, is like a project. She's like Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis came into the NBA, he was pretty much nobody. He had to grow into becoming the MVP. Himawari, in my personal opinion, could definitely grow into being an MVP type of character, but you have to put a lot of time and energy into that character, something that I'm not fully confident that Masashi Kishimoto can actually do. We could be seeing a different Masashi Kishimoto. He could definitely be learning from his ways. He was actually in charge when they did actually add the fact that Damon said that Himawari had some sort of quote-unquote hidden potential. That gives me a bit more hope. But regardless, her actual design is going to be interesting, not only just because of how she's going to be looking, but also because of the fact that we have absolutely no idea where she is. For the past 2 or 3 years, or however long that the time skip is actually going to be, she could literally be on her Sasuke wave trying to gather up and foster all of her hatred so she could actually go after and kill her brother. So she could legitimately look very, very different when we do see her actual designs. So that right there, in my personal opinion, is going to be an interesting one, and one that I think is definitely a possibility that we do actually get to see, because she's a main character, very, very close to the storyline, very, very close to the plot. I'm pretty sure it's probably not going to be one of the old generation characters, because they're probably going to look very, very similar. Like, let's be honest, Kakashi's part 1 design doesn't really look that different from his part 2 design, doesn't really look that different from his Boruto designs. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Boruto's design, what do you guys think about his brand new one? What do you guys think about Sarada's design? There's a bunch of stuff that's happening in the Boruto world as of right now. Boruto's back. Even though the manga is not back yet, there's news flying out left and right. A bunch of stuff is going around. There's like a brand new Minato one-shot manga that was absolutely fire. I definitely do want to talk about that as well. Not only that, there's supposed to be some new Naruto anime episodes that's supposed to be coming out in September that I definitely do want to talk about. But regardless, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And one of the questions that I definitely do want to ask, if there is going to be another design that doesn't release before, let's say the spoilers do drop on the 16th or the actual chapter does drop on the 20th, which character do you guys think is going to be? In my personal opinion, if it's not Mitsuki, I definitely want it to be Himawari. But let me know what you guys think. It's being boy Bar B, and we out.
It's a knife.